Camp WALABEAR, Camp WALABEAR, by the banks of lovely Lake Waiaway. Camp WALABEAR, Camp WALABEAR, come on in and let us show you around the place. Even when it's raining, we have sunshine. At WALABEAR, we always have a fun time. Camp WALABEAR, Camp WALABEAR, come early and you'll never leave too late.
Would you look at this? Would you look at this? Looks like a bunch of litter bugs snuck into the camp overnight and trashed the place. I tell you, this really burns my biscuits. Does this make you mad, happy campers? Yeah, it makes me mad too. Usually, we get to start the day with a nice word for the day and have a happy, fun time. But instead, what do we have to do? We had to clean up after a bunch of litter bugs. Well, let's go on to the word. WALABEAR, can we have a word? Environment. A very appropriate word for today. Little Joe, who can tell us a little bit more about today's word?
Tommy the Swami.
Greetings, curious ones. I was just thinking about the word environment. Do you know what that means, environment? If you do, please don't yell it out. I have to explain it. That's my job. Environment is everything that is around us, like the trees and the fluffy clouds and the fuzzy little animals. However, we must take care of the environment and keep it clean. Now, you're probably looking at all this trash and saying, Tommy the Swami, you're not keeping the environment clean. Well, check this out. Whoa! I must have got my wires crossed. I'm supposed to put the trash in the can. So remember, you need to put the trash in the can. Until next time, Sim Salabim, and may the road to enlightenment be free of potholes. Hey guys, help me out here. Woo!
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Justin.
Justin who?
Just in the nick of time.
You know, you guys did a great job cleaning up the campground. Why don't you give yourselves a great big hand? Go ahead. You deserve it. Yes, it's very important that we clean up the environment. And we learned a lot more about that when we went out and visited Donna Bosarge at the Environmental Study Center. We took our canoe across the lake to the boat dock, where she started the tour of the Environmental Study Center, showing us some very interesting birds.
Hello, Counselor Carl. I'd like to welcome you to the Environmental Studies Center today. We're part of the Mobile County Public School System, and we have a rather unusual partnership here. We also have a wildlife hospital on board here at the Environmental Studies Center. It's run by volunteers. And we get in injured and damaged and sometimes orphaned wildlife, and we try to get them well and return them back to the wild. The animals that are permanently damaged and can't be released become part of our educational program, like some of the animals you see in our water bird cage right here. Those big fellas there in the middle are brown pelicans. Pelicans have great big beaks for scooping up lots of tiny fish, their favorite food. Standing right next to him, the little guy with the orange beak, is a relative of the seagulls. He's called a Caspian tern. If you look in the very back of the cage, you'll see some tall, skinny guys there. One of them is called a yellow-crowned night heron. Over here to your left, you'll see a couple of seagulls. Seagulls are scavengers and eat the dead stuff and the smelly stuff that washes up on the beach and helps keep Mother Nature a lot cleaner with scavengers. Don't know if you can see in the background, but there's a goose walking back there. There's an African goose. We also have several Canada geese present out here on our lake. And next we'll be moving up to our raccoon cage. This is our blind raccoon, Samson. Samson's been with us about 7.5 years, and right now he's doing what a raccoon would normally do in the daytime. He's trying to take a nap. Now ordinarily they would be sleeping up at a tree out in the woods somewhere, but Samson can't climb trees. He's never seen one. He doesn't know what a tree is, so he pretty much lies out on the cool ground here in the shade and sleeps away the day. At night, they would come down out of the trees and maybe go down to the lake to catch frogs, minnows, and crawfish, or they may stay out in the woodland areas where they would catch toads and lizards and snakes and grasshoppers and mice, and maybe even steal an egg from a bird's nest. Raccoons are great catchers of all kinds of things for their food, great opportunists. Come on, Mama Doe. She said, I'm resting. I'm trying to get away from that baby. Come on, get up for me, please. Get up. They don't want to see you lying down. That's a good girl. Yeah, there's somebody there. This is Mama Doe. She's a white-tailed deer. See how alert she is? She's very alert and wary because you're a stranger. White-tailed deer live all over the Mobile area. You can hunt them sometimes. We have nothing against hunters as long as you obey the law and eat what you shoot. That's nature's way. Most people do eat meat. Mama Doe's very special. We call her Mama Doe because she has a little fawn out in our woodland pen here. We won't see the fawn today because she doesn't want us to see the fawn. The fawn is still very small and helpless. It's only a week old right now. And until it's able to run fast enough to keep up with Mama, she'll keep it hidden and only go back to it several times a day to feed it. Then when it's stronger, it'll follow her around and we'll get to see a little bit more. You can tell that Mama Doe loves peanuts. That's what I'm feeding her right here. We're going to see another kind of animal next, another animal with feathers. The deer and the raccoon are both mammals, animals with fur. We're going to see a big bird called an eagle.
We'll be back with more Camp WALABEAR after this.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Summer.
Summer who?
Some are bad, some are good.
We only have two kinds of eagles in our country, and we have one of each kind to show you. The large bird you're looking at now, Counselor Carl, is called a golden eagle, mainly named for the golden feathers on the back of the head and the nape of the neck. Golden eagles are mainly western birds, but there are a few of them down in South Florida. They're mainly rat, rabbit, and snake eaters, and she's talking to you right now. The large white-headed bird that you see over here is our national symbol, the American bald eagle. This bird has been the emblem of our country for hundreds of years and protected during that same length of time, but unfortunately, many of them have been killed. In fact, so many that they are an endangered species. In fact, both of our eagles are an endangered species. Now that means there are hardly any of them left. And this poor bird right here was shot when he was visiting over in Georgia about 16 years ago, and he's never going to be able to fly again. Now, we used to have bald eagles all around the Mobile area. They like to eat fish, and we have good fishing in this region of the country, and they were a fairly common sight. But now we're lucky if we see one pass through our state. The state is bringing them back, though, and releasing them near the Mobile area, and if we leave these new birds alone, we might get to see a bald eagle flying out over Mobile Bay or making a nest out on Dauphin Island or up on a river somewhere. It would be great to have our national symbol back where it belongs here in Mobile County. It would be great to see an American bald eagle. We're going to visit some of the smaller relatives of the eagles next. The hawks and owls and the vultures are also in a group of birds called the birds of prey. All of these birds have large hooked beaks and big sharp claws called talons. Now up there at the top, those three birds you see right there are called great horned owls. They're the largest owls in our state. They don't really have horns on their heads. They're soft feathers that they can lie down flat or perk up. Right now they've mostly got their ears back or horns back, so to speak. These birds are commonly nicknamed hoot owls because of the hooting call that they give. Sometimes folks call them Halloween owls. If you have ever colored the picture of an owl at Halloween during school or play school, It was probably one of these great horned owls right here. If you get a good look at them, you'll know better how to color them next time you see them. The large blackbird at the floor of the cage is nature's garbage disposal, one of the vultures. This is the black vulture here. Black vultures are fairly common around our state. They get rid of the dead animals for us and make the world a lot nicer place. We call animals like the vulture and the seagull scavengers because of the duty that they perform out in the environment. Next, we'll go see another type of owl next, the barred owls. This bird right here is called a barred owl. Barred owls have stripes on their chests like bars on a cage. This particular barred owl is in what we call his defense display. He's got his feathers puffed up and he's holding his wing out to make himself look larger and therefore more dangerous. Barred owls are relatives of the spotted owl that you've heard about causing the controversy out in the western part of our country. They're using those birds to help save the giant forest of the west coast. These birds are sometimes known as swamp owls. You'll see them hanging around wetland areas. They'll eat everything from frogs to small birds, mice, snakes, lizards, crawfish, and sometimes even fish. Another kind of owl that is found in the Mobile area is the barn owl. Barn owls like to live in old barns, abandoned houses, church steeples, airplane hangars. They like to hang around where people live because usually wherever there are people, there are mice, and that is their favorite food. When barn owls have babies to feed, they may catch as many as 40 or 50 mice each night, so farmers love having them out in the barns to protect their crops. Another relative of the owls are the hawks. The big fellows up at the top are called red-tailed hawks. Red-tailed hawks are the largest hawks found in the Mobile area. They're mainly rat, rabbit, and snake eaters. A lot of people call these chicken hawks, and they used to hunt them, but when they did scientific studies about these birds, they found out that very few of them actually bothered chickens. Most of them eat the rats and mice which gobble up our groceries, and so they give us free pest control service. Red-tailed hawk. These are the smallest owls found in our state. They're called screech owls. You may have a screech owl living out in your backyard. They eat mice and bugs for you, and they also give you free pest control service. The fox squirrel has the reddish coloration of the fox. I think he's going to come out for us a little bit. You can see some of the red there. I don't think he's very camera shy. I think he's enjoying this right now. They eat pretty much the same things that other squirrels eat. Mostly seeds and nuts. They're fruit salad and vegetable eaters. We don't want him to get out because this squirrel was in captivity. Somebody had him as a pet for about 4 years, and he no longer knows how to take care of himself in the wild, and they decided not to keep him as a pet after they'd had him so long, and so he's going to be with us for a while. One of the most beautiful animals around, I think. This is the coyote, or coyote. It depends on what part of the country you come from, how you want to pronounce it. It's a relative of the dog and the wolf. In fact, it's supposed to look like a small, skinny German shepherd, and she's right now looking even thinner than usual because she's in her winter fur, or excuse me, her summer fur, which is very short. Coyotes will catch rabbits and rats and small birds. They'll eat eggs. They eat the natural food that belongs to the animals that are supposed to live in this part of the country, and so they're causing quite a problem. Coyotes don't belong in this part of the country. They belong out west, but years ago hunting clubs brought them into the state and released them, and now they're taking over Alabama. They also get in garbage cans, chicken yards, watermelon patches. They cause a lot of damage to crops. The state would like to get rid of them, but we better get used to them. There are too many coyotes in Alabama for us ever to be free of them. We better learn to get along with them. These are our African pygmy goats, Bridget and Blue's the guy in the back with the horns there. Blue loves to be petted. Would you like to pet Blue, Counselor Carl? Well, you've seen our outside facilities. If you'd like to come inside, we'll show you our reptile room. Counselor Carl, this is one of the many kinds of harmless snakes that live in this part of our state. The snake is called a red rat snake or corn snake. It has a pretty red gold pattern on its back, kind of a black and white checkerboard pattern on its belly. It's called a rat snake because it eats mice and rats, and farmers like to have these and other types of rat-eating snakes around their farms and barn areas because they give you free pest control service just as the hawks and owls do. We're going to put this one back in, and as I move him into the other part of the cage, you can see several relatives. These are gray rat snakes that I'm piling him on top of. Here's one's head here. And gray rat snakes also like to eat mice and rats and live in the same area. Here's the head of the third one there. And this big black snake down at the bottom is called an eastern black pine snake. It's a very rare snake and is only found in a small area in the world, and Mobile County is part of that area. We have other types of reptiles out here at the Environmental Studies Center. Right behind you, you can see a young American alligator. This fella here is going on 3 years of age. The American alligator is one of the protected species found in our state. It's still protected by the Endangered Species Act. But they're not very rare in our state anymore. There are lots of alligators in Alabama right now. They basically live in every lake, river, and ditch in our state. You can see them all over the place. All right, this is a young common snapping turtle. They live in a lot of our lakes and rivers and ponds and streams around Mobile County. A lot of people are afraid of snapping turtles, but as long as you keep your distance and you don't bother them, he's not going to swim after you while you're out swimming and try to eat your toes off. He'll just mind his own business, and they're scavengers like the seagull and the vulture. They eat a lot of the dead and smelly stuff that makes our lakes and rivers nasty. Over here is our saltwater aquarium. Have a variety of saltwater fishes and other kinds of animals. This big fellow right here is called a blue tang. He's one of the reef-type fishes that you find in certain parts of the world. You may notice in the back there a starfish on the back of the aquarium. That's a live starfish, and right next to him, that beautiful thing that looks like a flower is called a feather duster tube worm. It's actually kin to the earthworm out in your backyard. He's a lot prettier though, isn't he? This little fellow is an orange-spotted filefish, and the strange-looking orange fellow in the back is a clownfish. Well, we've enjoyed having you and the campers here today, Counselor Carl, and we hope you'll come back and see us here at the Environmental Studies Center sometime real soon. Maybe next time we can take you down to the pitcher plant bog.
Let's check in with our benevolent benefactor.
J. Walter WALABEAR.
Well, hey there. As usual, you caught me working on something big. And you know what it is? Recycling. Now, in a nutshell, recycling is when you take something old and you make it new again. You can recycle lots of things, like this here old soda pop can. Now, believe it or not, just making this one can takes a heck of a lot of time, energy, and especially money. And that's before they put the soda in it. So, after you drink the soda, you could just throw away the can and chuck all that hard work, or you could take that old soda pop can and help turn it into something new by recycling it. You'd help save a lot of time, energy, and money. Ask your parents or your teacher how you can help out. And take it from old J. Walter WALABEAR. Recycling may seem small, but it makes a big difference. So remember, learn about recycling, keep plugging, and above all, think big.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Aaron.
Aaron who?
Aaron the tires.
The news is next.
This is a Camp WALABEAR special edition of Action News 10.
Good morning, happy campers. I'm Eleanor Reynolds, and this is WALABEAR News. A judge finally gave the go-ahead for an Arkansas family to show off their holiday lights, all 3 million of them. Look.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Osborne family must really like the holidays, but some of their Little Rock neighbors aren't too happy about all those lights. They say these lights cause a traffic mess and are a nuisance. The Osborne family gets to keep their lights up for 15 nights. Have you finished your holiday shopping? Well, it appears President Clinton may be just about finished with his. He went shopping in New York this week. For his safety, an entire block of a New York City street had to be blocked off, and so he could also shop uninterrupted. The president was seen buying a gold pendant, a bronze statuette, a long gold striped silk shawl, and several other beautiful gifts. Just who is getting what, we can't tell. If some of you are giving pets as gifts this holiday or know of someone who's going to get a cat or dog, here are some gift ideas to go along with those furry friends. Local pet store owners say lots of folks want to make sure their pets feel included in the holiday family fun. So, great gift options this year include plush toys for dogs, teasing toys for cats, even Christmas costumes like reindeer antlers, a hot one this year. Then there is food like edible rawhide or other pet munchies.
All 100% rawhide, all digestible, and no matter what, again, what diet they may be on.
Well, that's WALABEAR News for today. Thanks for joining us, and remember, study hard, obey your parents, and be kind to your brothers and sisters. Bye-bye.
Hey, want one of these Waste Well Camp WALABEAR t-shirts? Well, just write us here at camp, care of this address, and you'll get one of these Waste Well Camp WALABEAR t-shirts if we use your mail on the air. We'd like to thank the Mobile County Public Schools and everybody at the Environmental Studies Center for showing us around and giving us a real neat tour. And we're going to wrap things up with a camp song. What you think? What's the greatest camp around?
Camp WALABEAR.
Where everyone smiles and no one frowns. What do we do there?
What do we see?
Well, I'll see you and you'll see me, and we'll play so happily at Camp WALABEAR. What's your favorite place to be?
Camp WALABEAR.
Their place to go and people to see. What can we do there?
What do we see?
Well, I'll see you and you'll see me, and we'll sing so happily at Camp WALABEAR. One more time. What's the greatest camp around?
Camp WALABEAR.
Where everyone smiles and no one frowns.
It's over there.
What do we do there?
What do we see?
Well, I'll see you and you'll see me, and we'll play so happily at Camp WALABEAR. Second verse. What's your favorite place to be?
Camp WALABEAR.
There are places to go and people to see.
It's over there.
What can we do there?
What do we see?
Well, I'll see you and you'll see me, and we'll sing so happily at Camp WALABEAR. At Camp WALABEAR. At Camp WALABEAR.
See ya!
Camp WALABEAR, Camp WALABEAR, by the banks of lovely Lake